Well, has winter actually arrived? Now, we've had some pretty cold nights. We've gotten down to minus 20 a couple of times now, but we continue to have very little snow. And the last couple of days, we've been getting snow. There's not, I would say there's maybe a foot laying on the ground right now. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to take the scraper blade off the back of the tractor and put the blower on, and we're going to clean everything up with the blower, and then we'll leave it on for the time being. But before we do that, we're going to get on the tractor and go down to the Road to Nowhere trail and go in and have a look at the equipment yard and the area that we've been working on cleaning the trees down in the valley that I've now been referring to as Death Valley because of all the dead trees down there. And we're going to see whether it's worthwhile to continue or whether we're going to pack in our trail work altogether and head in and start working on our indoor renovations. All right, let's get the tractor running. We'll get down there and have a look around. Welcome to Retired for Life. I'm your host, Brian. I retired a few years ago after 30 years in a factory job as a machinist in a millwright. I needed to rediscover what life could really be like. When we purchased this property, the house had stood empty for over a year, and the property had been badly ravaged by poor logging practices. Since my retirement, I've been working to renovate the home and restore the surrounding forest to its natural beauty and attract wildlife back to the property. Join me as I learn about nature and working with wood to create the backdrop for this new chapter of our lives. Well, we've worked our way down into the equipment yard. We've been back dragging with the grater blade. That works very nicely. The grater blade doesn't get caught that way. It just rides over top of stuff. So let's go have a look down into Death Valley where we were last working and see what it's like down there. We have made such an incredible difference coming down through here. You couldn't even come off of the trail, never mind actually walk down in here. And as you saw, get the ATV down as well. All right, so this is where we were last working. This is the third ridge down. You know, I think we're done. Yeah, there's too much snow now. Well, we had an amazing reprieve to get as much work done down here, clearing trails and getting the floor down for the off-grid cabin at Bowmore. So it's been a really good, productive fall and a good start to winter. So I can't complain. But we've got just a couple of more other things that I want to do. I've got to get out and get the trail cameras all checked. And as you saw from the last video, we're starting to acquire some new equipment for a new little adventure out here that we're going to try. All right, so what we're going to do here is take the chainsaws back, and I will probably come back down and get the portable bench as well, because I'm going to want that in the house when we're doing our renovations. All right, I'm going to get that taken care of, and then we'll see you as soon as that's done. Well, okay folks, we are going to say goodbye to the equipment storage area, and our work down here. I've got the portable bench and my bucket loaded on the forks. We're gonna head out. And that's gonna be it. All right, folks, so rather unexpectedly, our last piece of equipment for this little thing we're about to try out has arrived. I wasn't expecting it to be here for a little bit, so I was hoping to have the other pieces here already deployed, but that's fine. Let's take this inside to the studio and have a closer look at it. All right, folks, so you've seen the equipment, and I'm sure you must be thinking, what is this guy doing now? Well, it's not for camping, and it's not for hunting. I'll show you what that equipment is for. We may be done with our trail work out there, but that does not mean we're done outside, because we've still got our trail cameras to take care of, and there's something else that I wanted to try that I think should be quite a lot of fun. And that is with these. Yeah, night vision goggles. Let's have a closer look. All right, so it comes in a very nice case. Yeah, and here they are. So we're going to put some batteries in these and put an SD card in, and we'll get these set up and ready to go. I'm really looking forward to this. This should be a lot of fun. So I really enjoy looking at the videos that we capture on all of my trail cameras out there. There's 6 of them, but nothing really quite beats actually seeing it live. When I used to own a big telescope, that was just amazing. To look into the sky live with your own eyes, it just does not compare at all to looking at a night sky on television. You can have a big, beautiful television, but it's just not the same as seeing it live. Now, I watch some videos of hunters, and it looks like it's a pretty exciting thing to be out hunting. I mean, that's the draw to it. So we're going to be kind of doing the same thing, but weapon of choice, night vision goggles. But these are more than just night vision goggles. So let's get these powered up and have a closer look at it. All right, we've got an SD card in there and we've got our batteries in, but I haven't turned it on yet. So let's just talk a little bit about what these goggles have. So the sensor that's in them for capturing your photos and videos is the Sony Starvis sensor. Now it is a really good sensor for low light pictures. This has a screen that you'll look at here, which is 2.4 inches in size. The picture resolution is 1920 by 1080p. The night vision distance that it's said to be capable of is 1,000 feet. It has an IR LED 3-watt sensor in there. So infrared is what it uses for absolute darkness. The aperture is f1.5, and that stays at that. Your focal length is 50 millimeters. And it's got a screw hole, a 1/4 inch screw hole in the bottom for a camera stand. All right, let's turn these on for the first time and we're gonna see what happens. All right, I see it coming up here. So let's go into the menu. The menu looks very much like any of the other menus on GardePro cameras. It will record sound too with the video. All right, there we are. That just took a couple of minutes to do, and it's all set. All right, folks, so we're all set up here. Now, there's three things that I want to talk about here. First off, you need to keep in mind that these are not stabilized. So your image, if you're holding it by hand, could end up being blurry because it'd be very difficult to hold these things steady. You got to keep in mind that you're basically using binoculars, and fairly powerful binoculars. So that's why we're set up on a nice steady tripod. The next thing to think about is that they are not an automatic focus. You are focusing this manually. So you need to be pretty careful with how you set it up, or all your pictures are going to end up blurry. So what I have found works best is to get my image. Okay, I see where that is. And now what I'm going to do is use the function key, go over to magnification or zoom, and it has 6 times optical zoom here. So I'm going to zoom in on that so I'm nice and close, and now I'm going to focus to that. And if I want, I can now back out to the normal view, or 1 times. And when I take my picture, I'm going to have a nice, sharp, clear picture or video. So when you set these up, you need to make sure of your distance. Like right now, I've got these set up pointing at this bird feeder over here, which we'll have a look at, which is 60 feet away. And yet it seems surprisingly close in these because, as again, they are binoculars. So there is our bird feeder over there. So it's 60 feet away. Now I'm going to take an image of that and I'll show you what 60 feet away looks like in these. All right, so there's our image at 60 feet with 0 zoom. And as you can see, that's really close. And then this image is at 6 times optical zoom. And you can see that's ridiculously close. So I think what we're going to do next is set this thing up farther away. All right, there we are. The bird feeder is now 100 feet out. Let's turn the binoculars back on and see what things look like. All right, we're lined up. So now I'm going to use the function key, focus, then I'm going to zoom back out and we'll take a picture. And to take a picture, it's just a quick push of the OK button. There's our picture. That to me seems to be a pretty good distance, 100 feet. And I really like that because that means I don't have to be that close to my subject, which in this case will be a deer or whatever other wildlife is out there. So I've now got my tripod in place with the GardePro binoculars on here. I've got my focus. So what I'm going to try to do now is take a video, and I'm going to walk towards the bird feeder and turn around every few feet kind of thing and see how the focus is on it as I walk in front of this. So to take a video, I need to push down on the OK for 2 seconds, and now it's recording. And it will record for as much space as you have got on your card. But remember, you're using battery power up too. So let's go for a little walk. So I'll take you guys with me and we'll go for a little walk here. All right, so we're going to go out to about the 50-foot mark. And we'll turn around and have a look here. All right, there we are at 50 feet. I'm also going to be really curious to see what the binoculars pick up with their microphone on it. All right, let's continue on out. Now remember, we are focused for being out to 100 feet, not 50 feet, but I'm very curious to see what the image looks like. All right, there we are, 100 feet. Okay, can you hear me? I don't want to yell at it, that would be kind of pointless. All right, let's go back and we're gonna have a look at that and take all of this inside and download the pictures and the video clip from it. So to take a video clip, you're pushing down on the OK button for 2 seconds. You'll see it start to record. And as I say, it's just going to keep recording. It is cool out here today.
Well, so what do I think of this so far? I think it's a pretty neat camera. GardePro lists it on their site as goggles. I wouldn't really consider it goggles. I would call it more like powered binoculars, because they do have a pretty good magnification, and I'm not sure what that is because I can't really find a listing for that either, but it's pretty high. I'm guessing that it's probably something around 10, minimum 8 times in its magnification. So one thing I think I would do, I did have it set out by 100 feet. I think when I actually go to set this up, I'm going to set it out farther than that. I'm going to do a couple more checks at 150 feet and 200 feet and see how it looks from there. And I think the farther the better, because the farther away that you are from what you're trying to capture on the camera, the less chance that you've got of actually scaring them away. So what you saw in the shop was a couple of bales of hay. I've got some good alfalfa hay there that will help attract deer. And I've got a hunting blind that I'm going to set up. So this camera will get set up and stay inside this hunting blind, and that hunting blind will stay in place for basically as long as I can keep it there. And the tripod that the camera will be set on will be in position, and then it will be easy to set the binoculars up for focusing for those spots. So what I'm going to do is set up the spot where I'm trying to capture the wildlife videos with the hay and with corn and probably some bird seed as well. We'll see what we can get coming there. So once everything's in place and once I see things are starting to come out to that location, then we'll go down towards the end of the day and set up and try to capture some videos with these binoculars. Part of this for me is, as I said earlier, it's kind of the thrill of being there yourself and capturing this. It's not counting on a sensor from a camera or anything like that. It's counting on me actually pushing the button and capturing this. I think it should make for a really fun experience and kind of give you the thrill of the hunt without a weapon. Your only weapon is going to be your camera. So stay tuned. I think it's going to make for a really interesting series. Now, if you're interested in these binoculars / goggles, I'm going to put a link to them in the description here. You'll also find an affiliate link with a promotion code that you can use for purchasing any of the GardePro equipment. So check that out. It'll give you a really nice savings and it will help benefit my channel as well. So the camera does have a pretty good price on it. At the time of making this video, the camera was listed on GardePro's site, Canadian dollars, at $191. So stay tuned for what I think is going to be a real fun series. Remember to stay safe out there, be good to each other, and we will see you out on the trails the next time.